Sarah Tabor out here on the campaign trail. We've got a question from a reader. Produce buyers for grocery stores will only buy 90% of their product from mega farms, 10% from small family farms. Produce farming can only help mega farms. What can you do to change that? Thanks. Great question. Thanks for asking. There's a lot we can do to make sure small and medium farms have a good profit in the produce space. Let's talk about 4 things. 1. Produce farms, even the mega ones, are a lot smaller than grain farms. When I worked with produce farms out on the West Coast, I was surprised to find how many well-run, profitable operations were well under 100, 50, or even 30 acres. Greenhouses can make a solid profit on less than an acre. Meanwhile, the average farm in North Carolina is about 180 acres. That is plenty big for produce. And yet, because we're focused on grain and tobacco, we have a lot of grain and tobacco farmers here in North Carolina who feel like they can barely stay ahead with 1,000 or more acres because the profit margins on grain and tobacco are so low. So, in produce, even if it's a highly competitive area where lots of people are growing it, produce growers can still make enough profit per acre to keep small and medium farms in business. A 150-acre farm where it would be impossible to make a living with grain and tobacco is a mega farm for produce. Number 2. Small farms can also find ways to get economies of scale. You don't have to own a lot of land to be competitive. When there is a large produce industry and lots of folks growing fruits and veggies in your area, you'll get people who do specialized custom work for hire. For example, installing irrigation, pruning, planting trees, that kind of thing. And because they do just a few jobs all the time, they're really fast and effective. Those custom operators get an economy of scale because they're doing the same work for lots of places, so they can do that job cheaper than the farms can do themselves. When there's custom operators, farms don't have to buy all the equipment to do all the jobs themselves, and that saves so much money. Using a lot of specialized custom work to cut down on the cost of doing all their jobs is how a lot of West Coast farms stay in business. Despite lots of competition, they're farming land that costs $80,000 an acre at farmland use value, and the farm wage rates start at $25 an hour. And those farms are staying in business. $25 an hour is a starting wage for a lot of farm workers out in California. It can go up to $40 an hour. Yeah, and they're staying in business. This is how they do it. Those custom farm jobs, by the way, are a great way for young people to get started in farming. If you can't afford to buy land, that's okay. Start a business helping other people manage their properties. You'll build skills, build savings, build a network, learn the business and what mistakes to avoid because you'll be around long enough to watch other people make them before you get a chance to. And you'll also be in a good place to find out what the good land deals are when you're ready. Produce is really good at creating these jobs because growing produce is finicky. It does need more kinds of specialized fieldwork tasks. So that makes produce better at creating real jobs that support new farmers getting started. And that is just one reason I think we should grow more of it here in North Carolina. Number 3, grow a product that's the right fit for the farm. A large farm for produce may find that low-cost bulk goods like processing carrots or sweet potatoes are a good fit. But for a 10 or 20 acre farm, something more specialized like ground cherries, figs, or premium berries might be more appropriate. These crops fetch a higher price per acre, and they need more TLC because they're soft, they're delicate. That means they don't travel well. So there's less competition from product being shipped in from elsewhere. Important to know. 4, last but not least, food safety audits can be a huge leg up for profitability. Yes, for small operations. Once you have one, you can sell directly to grocery stores and other retailers. You can cut out brokers, wholesalers, and other middlemen. You get a better price. And you have a lot more options for where you can sell your product, doors open for you. Because of that, food safety audits have been a lifesaver for a lot of the small family farms I've worked with. Now, a lot of people do find food safety audits intimidating, and sure, of course they're challenging, and at the same time, lots of small family farms do them every single year. It's how they stay in business. So honestly, look out for folks who tell you food safety audits are too hard for you. They might mean well, but they're really not looking out for you. They are trying to talk you out of something that has saved a lot of small family farms. So those are just 4 things, a little starter course on what we can do to keep small and medium-sized family farms and help them make good profits growing fruits and vegetables. Thanks for asking.